We are Autentik, and we are on a mission to help neurodivergent adults to succeed at work and in everyday life. It might surprise you, but based on the study, US companies lose more than $1 trillion per year due to miscommunication. It is especially important now when there is so much communication happening in the text form. I can illustrate it with a story. My friend Paul is a brilliant software engineer, but he had to quit his job due to communicational problems. He explained to me that he felt somewhat excluded when he asked many questions, and his colleagues didn't understand his autistic traits, and they perceived it like as I don't know, some weirdness or something like this, and he didn't get his answers, and he felt burnout at the end of the day. I had problems with communication at work myself as well. So you can notice on this photo that I was constantly frustrated while everyone chatted and had some fun during discussions. I couldn't get all the answers that I needed. That's why I decided to create Autentik. It is a mediator between the neurotypical people and neurodivergent folks like myself, and it uses AI. And from the very beginning, it started to attract some traction, some users, mostly through the viral, word of mouth. We have a bunch of tools that, in total, engaged 47,000 users. Now I will show you how it looks. So it is a bunch of tools, as I've said. Some of them are in the form of bots. Some of them are Chrome extensions. Some of them are desktop applications. Our tool, or you can imagine it works as Grammarly. It triggers when someone types the message, and it knows personal traits of the person to whom you are writing the message. And it can provide with advice, like, for example, to elaborate a little bit more, provide with more details, or make it more concise. The detailed version, for example, now on the screen. And each person can personalize it to himself. In different media, it works in different style. For example, in Slack, it understands that it's a dialogue that's going back and forth, and it provides with in-depth analysis for the dialogue itself, like what are hidden meanings, the intentions behind the text, and this kind of stuff. And it is one of our peculiarities that we combine different medias like emails, messengers, task tools like Jira or Lean and it is easily integrated everywhere where we want it to be. We have competitors on the market. For example, Mentor helps people with finding jobs, mostly autistic people and other neurodivergent folks. Text Help and Goblin tools are about the texts, and they do help neurodivergent people to understand messages better, to shape the messages. But our peculiarity is that we are not only for neurodivergent people, but we are for the mediation between both neurotypes and different neurotypes, and also personalization and knowing the traits of the one to whom you are writing is our strong feature. The market is projected to be 50 billion. We assume that we are in the market of AI-powered communicational tools. And our service addressable market are the companies that are using Slack and Gmail and can integrate it in their workplace. We have different routes to market. For example, we have established partnerships with universities, with consultancy services that can help us, that can help promote our product on the revenue share basis. We have influencers, and we have a direct communication with small, medium, and enterprise companies to understand better how we can help. We have a strong team with B2B experience and with AI for Good experience. For example, Scott was senior director that was responsible for AI for Good grants, for example, in Microsoft. And Daniel Jones is a famous influencer in our field. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about our B2B journey. So at first we started to try to engage enterprises, but soon we understood that it's a bit harder to be a small startup that sells to the enterprises. And so we decided, thanks to the multiple accelerator, we decided to start small in the B2B sphere, and we started to monetize our simple Slack bot. So if you can download it and try it in the workplace, we would be really very happy. And also multiple, said that if we have 47,000 users, we can try to monetize them. And we started to monetize them just not long ago, and it worked pretty well. So we have the B2C revenue, and now we are entering the B2B market as well. Thank you very much. Hope you had time to scan this.
Thank you so much, Igor. That was a fantastic. Panelists, questions for Igor?
Maybe I'll go. Very cool, Igor. I love it. It's like Grammarly for inclusion, right? It's always there helping. Maybe you could talk a little more about monetizing the free users. I am wondering how you can spread amongst users directly and how you can put up the toll gates in the right places to get people to pay you.
Yeah, I always thought that we're making something so impactful that I shouldn't monetize people directly, but our mentor and our multiple advisors and folks explained to us that if we just grab several dollars per seat, it's not a huge problem if it's really useful. And yeah, we tried it. We made it in the form of of the message, where we explain that the infrastructure, the compute, the AI costs some money. So basically, if you use it heavily, then please pay. So only those who use it heavily, they have to pay, and they started to pay without any questions. So it is one of the main topics, is that we are monetizing for 2 months. We've been monetizing for 2 months, and people are renewing the subscription for the next month, and they are happy to pay. But we understand that we monetize the small app, like WhatsApp, Telegram, these kind of bots. But if we add more features, we can grab more money from the users. And so we're testing this hypothesis: how can we add more features to generate more? Because we already programmed it all.
So what would you consider a heavy user? Someone who uses it, how frequently would they use it?
About 10 messages per month. So this is the heavy user for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of value. If someone is using it that much, they should feel good about paying you.
Yes. And thanks to Kevin for his idea how to test this small hypothesis, because sometimes you like walking in the forest and you know that you have something valuable, but you don't know how to how to test it.
Yeah, great.
I can go next. I'm curious about the impressive early user base that you've built out, Igor, and what have you seen from this user base that is actually changing how people collaborate or feel at work? I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's a great topic, because people from the very beginning, they started to reach out to us directly. Like, for example, I asked the tool this question and I don't understand the answer. And sometimes people couldn't understand the answer just because, they have some traits, some problems with communication. And I spent like huge amount of time explaining in real words, like as a human, not as a bot, like what did they mean in this communication, and why your message was perceived as arrogant or rude or this kind of stuff. And gradually we understood how to nail the advice better. So now we had like 35 iterations of different ways of explaining to the messages to make people like, if it's direct feedback, for example, we don't want people to be offended. If we sometimes sugarcoat in the message, we don't want to go too far, because if the message is really toxic and someone is rude towards you, we don't want to say that, oh, maybe he's just irritated a little bit. No, we just say that this message is really toxic. So we kind of found this borderline between these scenarios. And we reached out to several scientists, and we're now in the process of establishing the first big study when we want to prove that these messages, our support really has a positive impact on people. I know it, talking to people, but now we need to prove it on scale. Maybe it's not direct answer to a question. It was just an interesting topic, and I started to elaborate on it. Yeah, scientists, huge amounts of data sets. We also ask people to put thumbs up, thumb down if they like or not the response, and we ask them to grab this data. So if, like we say, you put this thumb up, it means that you want this message to be stored for the future analysis. So if you want to engage in making ours better, so about 15,000 messages were already accumulated by the people who wanted to be like providers of the data sets. We analyze it, and we found like very interesting insights that we feel makes us outstand towards other AI tools, because we focus only on these assessments of inclusiveness in the messages.
Great, thank you so much.
So Igor, I have a lot of experience in this space, actually a patent hanging on my wall for intelligent proactive communication. So we can talk later, but two questions that I have are, is this English only? And have you thought about cross-cultural inclusion? That's one question. The other is a deeper one, but it's, how does training work? Like, is this, if you're in an enterprise setting, does the data related to like inclusive communication stay within that enterprise, or are you sharing it across the entire user base?
I'll try to be very precise. So first question, can you please repeat? Sorry.
You're all good. No. English. I was just thinking cross-cultural.
Yeah, of course. As we are obviously non-native speakers, and most of the teams of our team, we live in different countries. So it's one of the main topics that we kind of understand these discrepancy in the communication that happens not only because of the neurodivergency, but because of different, not only languages, but also cultural styles. And we accumulated like, I don't know, dozens of different examples of these cross-cultural discrepancies that we use also in our app. And yes, it's something about the future expanding, like cultural fit, this famous book, like Culture Map. So we're constantly researching for the new features. Speaking about the second question, we also created the flexible engine. This is a Grammarly engine, like Grammarly-like engine, but it can encapsulate through retrieval augmented generation every piece of data that the company has. Like, for example, they can say, we don't want to be too polite to each other, like we are Dutch. I don't know, we like direct communication. Don't do this inclusive bullshit and this kind of stuff. So for them, we say, okay, we wouldn't trigger on these examples. We would trigger only on on the most. For Japan, it will be different. So they can fine-tune how they perceive inclusive communication in their company.
If you've never seen it before, the Enron data set is public domain corpora. Oh my gosh, that is not inclusive at all.
No, I will check this out. Enron, yeah.
Wonderful.